2020 Trek Domane HP versus Specialized Creo e-bike. Hey gang, this is Mike with Mr. No Fluff and with my real estate dojo, and today I'm going to give you a no fluff review as the owner of this bike, why I bought the Trek HP Domane Plus EV bike versus the Specialized Creo EV bike. And I spend hours and hours researching this because, you know, this was a big purchase. So let me get the first thing straight away. The price were basically the same. This was $7,000. The Specialized was $7,000. You know, $500 more on this versus the Specialized, but depends on where you bought it from. Okay, so these are both EV bike class 3, which means that they produce speeds up to 28 miles an hour. Okay, now this is not a motorcycle. This is pedal assist, which means that you have to put the work in to get that work to the speed you want. But let's get to the story. A few reasons why I picked the Trek versus the Specialized. Okay, number one, the prices were the same, so that's constant. That's not going to change. The very first thing is that for the same exact price, the very first thing I got is I got front lights and I got back lights integrated into the bike. Okay, and I thought that was pretty cool, right? Because when I turn the bike on, the lights come on. Okay, and the back light looks pretty cool. Looks like RoboCop or something. Okay, so that's awesome. Now, the other thing is that with this bike that had that Specialized Creo didn't have was that it came with a kickstand, right? I mean, to get a kickstand, you know, find one that's going to work with the actual bike, have it installed. Hopefully, it works perfectly. You know, it takes time and money and energy. The other thing was that that the bike came with a onboard computer. You know, I have a computer that I paid like $60 for recently, but this is more sophisticated than the online than the generic computer. Okay, so, and then it also comes with these controllers. I don't know if you guys can see, where you can turn the speed up, down, move the navigation through the online computer. Okay, the other thing that this has that Specialized didn't have was that you can download the app from Bosch Motors, which I did, and spend like $9 or $10. And what that does is when you take this off, okay, you hear that noise, it locks up the engine. Now, it doesn't mean that someone can't pedal it. I wish it was like that where they couldn't pedal anymore, but what it does is that they can't turn the engine on anymore. So if they sell it or whatever, they can't sell it as an e-bike because the engine won't work. So I wish it would, make more noise and alarm and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's a pretty cool sophisticated thing. It would have been great if it was for free, but again, it didn't cost that much, $10. But again, this bike cost over $7,000 to get. Same was the Creo. Okay, so a couple of things that, again, why I chose this bike was that it had a kickstand. Okay, and it had this onboard computer. It had these cool front and back lights. It's kind of hard to do with one-handed. Okay, all right, it had these cool front and back lights. And let me talk to you about these lights. These lights are like BMW lights. Okay, because whenever you're going at nighttime, I don't know if you can see this little orange stuff. The light comes out here, so it brightens not only your left but your right plus your front. It's very amazing. It should be on all bikes in a sense because they're really very, very bright. Same thing with the backlight. The backlight is so amazing. It's very, very bright, which is very good, especially when I ride road. Okay, and again, the Trek didn't have that, so I would have to spend, let's say, $50, $100 for front light, $50, $100 for front backlight, kickstand. Okay, so those are the couple of things. It didn't have the computer. Okay, it didn't have the hand control of the bike. Now, the other thing was that it didn't have the bigger battery. Okay, because I'm right now doing a tour as I'm talking. I got my bags filled, and it's just like a one-day tour, but I'll be knocking out 60 to 75 miles today. So I have my watermelon and mangoes and a bunch of food to eat. And so You know, I wanted something that can go for longer. And the other thing was that I wanted something that I could pull my kids with, and I thought that this bike was more capable of pulling my kids on a burly trailer because of the more powerful engine and more battery. So nothing is against Specialized, very fine company. But again, another reason why I didn't buy the Specialized is because I had bought a Specialized in the last 2 years, and it's a Sequoia, and I had problems with the way the pedals went in, and it damaged my pedal, and it was like $300-400 fix, and I had just bought it. It wasn't even like 2 months old. So, you know, after that I thought, you know what, that doesn't make sense. Now, this bike does come with a GRX top of the line system. You know, GRX has 3 different levels. This is the same level as the Ultra. All right, it does come with hydraulic disc brakes. It also has these little cool white brakes on there that kind of make it fancy. I mean, I called this bike the Robo bike because, you know, literally it's a robo bike because it's not doing it for you, it's just giving you power to do it. It's kind of like that movie Iron Man, where he still had to generate the punches and run fast, but the machine matched his power. And this is the future of bikes. I thought this was for just old people. I'm a strong rider. You know, I usually pull both of my kids, you know, over 100 pounds in a trailer with food, diapers, and we do, you know, 60 miles, 70 miles, multiple days, back to back. Now, once in a while, multiple times throughout the week. So I'm a strong rider, and, you know, I just thought that it'll make it more fun to ride, pull the trailer, not work so hard, because sometimes it takes the fun out, especially if you go someplace that's very hilly. Okay, and so amazing bike. One other thing that, you know, made me to buy this bike that I didn't realize was that the Domane has a suspension system. You know, the Specialized has the front suspension system, the Domane has the back suspension system and the front suspension system. Now, on the Specialized, the front suspension system is a little more advanced. But again, you know, I'm not really looking, you know, I really thought the Trek had the better equipment options because, you know, I got the front suspension, I got the back suspension, I got the kickstand, I got the awesome front light, I got the awesome back light, I got an online computer, and, you know, I got top of the line components, you know, and so had bigger battery life. I was able to have the anti-lock system on there, where Specialized didn't offer that, or at least that I know they have their own app. It's probably a little nicer than the app for Bosch, but, you know, again, I've only owned this bike for 4 days, and 3 days I've been riding. I have 160 miles already on it. So, you know, every time I've gone out, I've been over 50 miles. Today I'm still not finished, but I have 160 miles on this bike. So, beautiful bike. Yes, it was expensive, without a doubt. I really think it was worth it for me because, you know, I'm not gonna park it in the garage. I ride it all the time. I ride bikes all the time, so it's definitely worth it for me. Now, is it just for old people or senior citizens? No, it could be for old people. No disrespect to anyone that's old, okay? But it also could be for young people because it's very, very fun, and believe it or not, it really works you out. What do I mean by that? It's kind of like going to the gym and doing curls and picking up the 25 pound and doing curls. Maybe you could only do 12 reps, okay? But then you're putting it down, and with the next hand, picking up 2 pounds or 3 pounds and doing 30 reps. Yes. So does the 30 reps that you did with 2 pounds means you didn't work? No, it means you worked. Right? You probably even work harder than when you did with the extra heavier work. And so that's the thing. The e-bike eliminates the force requirement, but because of that, you're able to do more reps, which exerts you even more. So it's not something that you do and you don't expert energy. You actually, for me, I expert more energy because now I'm at higher RPMs. I'm pedaling a lot faster for longer periods of times and more miles, which end of the day equates to riding a bike that I could only do for, let's say, 50 miles or 60 miles. Now I can go a lot longer, carry more stuff. Okay. I mean, Trek and Specialized Sequoia and Trek Domane HP. They both have racks to carry your bike mount, uh, bike rack, which was a great option because I like to go tour. And other reasons why I went with the Trek HP Domane versus the 2021 Specialized Creo is because the geometry of the track as well. I have a 2021 checkpoint. So again, I got a 2021 checkpoint SL and SL5, and I was very, very happy with that bike. And I just recently bought it. If you're looking for a review, look below somewhere or subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't mind, click the like button. It definitely helps out the algorithm. Okay. So I like that geometry, and this was even a little bit more comfortable. This was an amazing bike because when I bought it, I hadn't had to do anything to it. I didn't have to change the seats to Brook seats. I didn't have to change the stem. It was just like a perfect fit. And I've been doing miles and miles, like 50 miles plus every time I go out. And I'm like totally in love with this bike. Not in the material world, but in a world that I can go out and listen to the birds, guys, and enjoy and have a great time and get my physical activity up. Without like hurting my knees and joints because I'm pulling so much weight or I'm doing so many miles or I'm totally exhausted and I'm like, damn, I hate riding bikes. All right, guys, I'm kind of freestyling this, so I didn't write the points down, but let me summarize it for you. The reason I went with Trek Domane HP versus Specialized Creo is one, that the track had front and back suspension, or what they call ISO speeds. Number two, this is very, very important, that the track came with all these extra accessories for the same exact price, where on the Specialized Creo, I would have to go spend money, for example, on a kickstand, a high quality kickstand, front lights, back lights, etc. Okay, like an onboard computer, right? The other reasons that I went with a track versus a Specialized is because I have a track checkpoint, and I was very happy with the bike, and I also had a Specialized Sequoia, and I wasn't too happy with that bike. So that was a big determining factor because I've already spent a lot of money on a Specialized Sequoia, and I wasn't too happy with it. I sold it very quickly. So when I was going to drop, $7,000 plus cash, I wanted it. I reflect back to the experience that I had with my 2021 checkpoint, which I loved, and my Specialized Sequoia, the top of the line one, which I sold really quickly. So I did that, and I was like, do I want to spend 7,000 plus on a Specialized that I don't know the geometry, or on a one that I already do? When I added the extra accessories that it came with, and I added the other important factor was the support. When I buy a Specialized, it was hard to get support for. With the track, the local track store takes care of me, so support was a big factor. And then again, buying all those accessories and the little pieces I needed to make that Specialized into what I needed. For example, I needed a rack, and if I want to put racks in there, I had to buy a seat post, change the seat post. So there's all these little things I needed to do with that Specialized to make it sufficient. And guys, so they're both really fine bikes. The Trek Domane HP and the Specialized Creo, they're both excellent electrical bikes. They're both excellent e-bikes. But I decided to go with the Trek Domane HP because I was very happy with my 2021 checkpoint, and I was so happy that I realized that, hey, Trek, so far has made me very, very happy with the bike. Like, I bought this bike, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to change the stem, I didn't change the seats. It was so comfortable, okay? Everything was comfortable. Now, there were a couple of things that I wasn't happy with when I bought this bike, the Trek Domane, and that was from the dealer that I bought it from. They didn't do a great job wrapping the tape, the handlebar, but that's not a big deal. I actually took it to a Trek Corporation bike shop, and they took care of it for me for free. So if you're gonna buy a Trek, make sure you're buying it from a corporate office versus a small mom and pop bike shop, because I think that you're gonna get more support from the corporate office. But again, some bike shops are real cool. Some bike shops are like car dealerships, and unfortunately, where I bought my Trek Domane, it was a place like a car dealership. They just sold it to me.
I called them back for support the next day when the tape came off. They never even returned my phone call. So that said, that's the only bad thing I would say with it, with the bike experience, was that, you know, getting a bad dealer that wasn't corporate owned. But now Trek has a lot of corporate owned dealers. All right, guys. So this is just my opinions. I'm not affiliated with Trek or Specialized. They didn't pay me. I bought this with my own hard cash money. I paid over $7,000 for this Domane. I paid cash for it. So I did my homework. I did hours and hours of research. I watched all the YouTube videos. I read all the forums. I even watched it in different languages, like in Germany and in Great Britain, because apparently they sold more HPs in Europe than they did in America. So I try to get the best understanding, because, you know, it is a big chunk of money and I didn't want to spend it blindly. So I actually knew more about the bikes than when I went to the shop and talked to the, you know, salespeople at the shops. They didn't know anything, or even the owners. I knew more about the bikes than they did, so I was pretty pleased that I had done my due diligence, that I knew the specs more. So end of the day, I ended up going with Trek Domane. I've already put over 165 miles on it in just a few days of ownership. I'm very happy with it, and I'm looking to put thousands of miles on. I'll do more videos to keep you guys up. So maybe, you know, down the line I'll buy a Specialized Creo, but I think I'm going to be a Trek fan unless something happens with this bike, because the last two bikes that I bought were Trek and I was super happy with them. So Trek, if you're watching, thank you for making a good product, man. You know, I bought expensive stuff from companies, and they were pretty crappy, and I hate that. I like buying stuff that's reliable, great engineered, and thanks for doing that. Thank you guys for watching. And by the way, please click the like button, leave me a comment, let me know if you have to Specialize, if you have the Domane, what your thoughts are, if you had any problems or anything like that. I'd love to hear from you. And always remember, you're braver than you believe, you're smarter than you think, you're stronger than you seem, and you're twice as beautiful as you ever imagined. This is my favorite poet, Pomey. Much love. Don't take no for answer. Peace.